Okay, this is just a quick video to show this one running for proof it runs, because these things are very picky, as I've learned. Takes a few seconds to warm up. Almost there. There we go, proof it runs. It's very touchy to get going. First time I used a coarse steel wool on the displacer, which was evidently too coarse and it let the air right through the displacer, so I used some super fine steel wool that I had up in the garage yet from my midget project. And that seemed to have taken care of it. And then the seal on the power cylinder is pretty touchy too, so I used aviation safety wire and clamped it down with that. Seems to have solved the leaks around the balloon. So I finally have one that's running. And now the other one, the one I really want to get running, but I think will take a little bit longer, is actually this one. So, got a few hours machining this thing. It's fairly friction free. Haven't oiled it up, so it's sticking a little bit, but the displacer tubes are supposed to be cut down test tubes, and this is the one that I melted the end, and then it cracked on the back end there, and this is the one where I melted the end and the displacer hit it. So I think the problem with this is, as I've learned with this Stirling engine, start simple, it's probably always a better idea. They're very picky about air leaks, and this piston has a little bit of give in it. So I'm thinking I'm leaking too much air around the power piston, as well as possibly what's leaking back here. There's not too much of a leak on here, but I'm sure, as I've learned with this, just a tiny little leak is enough to make them not go. So thinking this, I might machine out and put like a pearlitic cast iron bushing in, and then I'll just have to make a new cylinder, or a new piston for the power cylinder to get this one going. So it was kind of fun to machine it. Sad that it's not working yet, but I think it'll take a while to get going. But it's kind of neat, you know, all the motion's moving. At least the worst case, it'll make a cool display piece. Did all the machining on the 9x20 lathe, all by hand, which was a good practice for machining small things. I've never done anything this small. But my guess is simply too much. I don't know if the camera can show it decent. You can see the play in the connecting rod, but there's a little bit of play in the piston up here on top. I had to make the cylinder a little bit larger on top to make sure I had clearance for the connecting rod from the top beam. Was hitting there earlier. So it's got a little bit better seal further down, but I'm thinking that's probably my culprit. Is just that power cylinder. With the soda can one, I could see where it was going, but not quite. And then once I put the safety wire, stainless steel safety wire on it, it started going. And then here's the plans showing the cylinder. The power cylinder diameter, this is a 5mm diameter, but the opening between the cylinder or the power cylinder and the displacer is only a 2mm diameter, which is a pretty big difference in radius, considering in this design it's pretty much a 1/2 inch all the way straight through the elbow to the balloon. And so that was the other thought, is that maybe there's a little bit of a restriction coming through that smaller diameter to the power cylinder, but I'm guessing it's just leaking air, and it'll take a little bit more work and machining to get it going, but oh well. If you got any other ideas, let me know. Otherwise, at least I have a working Stirling engine. I call it the ghetto Stirling engine because that one looks so much nicer. But at least that one works. So thanks a bunch, and here's the shop with the Legal fuselage in front, which is steel tubing. That's 5/8 and 1/2 inch 4130 TIG welded steel tubing, and then the aluminum behind is actually the bottom of a 8-foot wing section for the Mustang 2 I'm building. That one's sitting vertical. The shop is in dire need of a cleaning, and it's usually winters when I get the chance to clean and work on airplanes. But that's pretty much it. And let me know if you have any ideas on these, or at least the aluminum machined one, because still would like to get that going at some point with the amount of time I put into that one. So thanks a bunch.